Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. And as you can clearly see in this video, we are going to be doing what you know a tier list, but unlike other tier lists, this one is somewhat different because well, this one is regarding the low relevance of a character. uh, in this video I'm just going to be going through and talking about the low relevancy of each character, ranking them as such. Mm. But before that, and before I forget, I just want to uh, add on to something that I said in my last video, and that is regarding the challenge runs. Previously, I claimed that uh, the one challenge run that I did not get was the perfectionist and no perfection. Yes, the perfection challenge run, and uh, I wanted to fit that in, but apparently, perfection challenge run does not give you an achievement, and the one I was missing was actually one challenge run known as storage. And mm, well, I went ahead and got that, and uh, nothing much. It just gives you like an achievement known as no space or something like that. And I really don't have much to talk about it. If I had to go through and add that to the lore or something, like the best I can do is like say that Alexa agreed to go ahead and get something for someone, like uh, you know she we know that here I'm going to show, we know that she's already agreed to get in one of the side quests. She agrees to get the secret crystals for Professor Harris here. And yeah, that's, if I had to guess, that's probably something related to it. Anyway, here we have 5 tiers, and the names are very self-explanatory, if I do say so myself. And here they are. Unexpectedly low relevant is the highest one because, uh, in this one we have the characters that we really don't expect we don't expect them to be that much important to the story, but they are. uh, I don't want to go ahead and give up much spoilers regarding to my video, but like these 4, like the ones you meet in one room, like these 4, hmm, I'm going to keep in this category. But anyway, here in this uh, here in this list we have characters in the order of which we meet them in game. Like from the beginning we meet Alexa because she talks about the Deoxynn. Then yeah, then her parents because her mother drops her off at school. And though we did not meet Kai until the end of the game, where he confronts Ulfgar. uh, his like the posters or notice for his dojo is actually in the school. So I'm just like, at the earliest mention of a character, I'm going to put them here in that list. Anyway, then there is that expected lower element. Anyway, these are very like self-explanatory, so I'm not going to even bother going through them. I'm just going to start. But before I forget, there are 3 characters in particular that I would like to like go ahead and get out of the way first, because uh, we do not actually have sprites for them, and I'm afraid I'm going to forget that they exist. uh, anyway, the first one is Alexa's wait one second. Alexa's yes, uh, elder sister, whose name I keep on forgetting every single time. uh, Let me go on. let me just go and get the name real quick. Okay, uh, it's somewhere in the comments right here. Yes, it's Layla, and yeah, uh, Alexa's elder sister Layla, and she currently has lit like despite being the elder sister of our protagonist, she does not have like any characterization whatsoever other than the fact that she is at university. With Alexa's mother and her father, we have other characterizations that make them more low relevant to the story and all of that. Like, I use the term low relevant here as a synonym for being more important to the story. By the way, like low relevant, story relevant. I while making this tier list, I did not make that distinction. So anyway, uh, and then we have the second character with no sprite, but is actually important. Alexa's brother, who, in case you are wondering, yes, she has a brother because I made a whole video about this. I'm not going to go through this again. It's in the phone calls video on my channel. You can go check it out. I won't go through this again, but if you saw this video, you probably already know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that he was most definitely the victim of one of Alexa's trap phases. Yes, and you know that's why he's probably going to be in the. If I had a sprite, I would keep it in the expectedly low relevant section, but though for reasons that are not as much as apparent. Um, and then we have another character who, again, I talk about in that same video, known as, if I remember properly, Midnight Scarlet. Uh, Apparently, I think it was she was a criminal who is currently now locked up, if I remember so. But we know a few things about her. That one, she was able to fight off against Kai, and Kai, Alexa's father, and the cops took her down, and that's basically all we know about her. But the reason that I bring this up is Kai is, we know for a fact that he has went up against Wolfgar at least more than once, because Stacy tells us that both of these two hate each other. So mm, it's likely that they fought more than once. So there is that, and okay, so with all those three non-sprite characters out of the way, I'm going to go through and start the ranking of the characters of whom we do have sprites. First of all, Alexa. I feel like I do not need to explain this. I really don't feel like I do have to explain this. Yeah, I'm just going to keep her here. Now we have Alexa's insane side. And by the way, in case you're wondering why there are two of this sprite, I'm using one of the sprite as to represent Alexa's insane half, and the other one to represent Nyarla, the Deoxynn, who is actually responsible for Alexa's, becoming a Deoxynn victim. Anyway, I think I don't even know why I kept it here. The sprite, I think it's supposed to be that Nyarla has named. We discuss her first with Stacy or something. Anyway, I don't really need to explain this. Alexa's insane half, though, while this character may not seem as much of a character, we actually do get somewhat of a characterization of simply from the end of the game, where we see that this character, who I like to refer to as the clone, because this particular sprite used for them is labeled as such in the game files. And that's why I'm going to use that name. We can see that their uh, nearly complete separate entity from Alexa, other than the fact that they share the same body and like the clone takes control of Alexa whenever it's like very likely that because says so herself that she's the one who takes control of Alexa when Alexa goes to the trap phase. So obviously, like you can expect them to be relevant to the lore. You might be fooled by saying that they are not in the top one, but like uh, I just you know mm, like this is not much of a tier list, more of a categorization thing, and I just kept in a tier list because like unexpectedly lower relevance is like a very rare occurrence, I believe. Okay. Anyway, this is more of a categorization thing, and also it gives me some opportunity to talk about some characters and the cool things I found about them. Okay, now we're going to have to talk about Alexa's mother for a moment, and in case you're wondering why this sprite is like turned away from the camera, this is the literally the only sprite we have of her in the game. Like you can go into the little game files, and I made a video about this, and you can go into game files, but you this is the only sprite you get of her, because if you try and go into her walk cycle, you get rickrolled. I'm not even kidding. That's what. It's funny. Just go and watch that video. But she, again, self-explanatory why she is expectedly lower relevant. Although one thing I would like to point out is that apparently, according to Alexa, she is the one who first realized that Nyarla was a Deoxynn, and she was the one who was able to get Alexa some help, and there's that. Now, Alexa's father, Kai, on the other hand, though, is a different story. By the way, I am unable to get the face of these characters because, like, you know, the tier maker application is not did not like focus like some of these sprites, like this one of Jake is like it's showing the entire sprite, but for some reason the other ones like they get cut off for some reason. Anyway, and that's why you cannot see Kai's head. You probably know who Kai is. Anyway, um, he is like un, uh, different from his other family members in that he is low relevant in the ways you expect him to be, but he is also low relevant in ways you do not expect him to be. For one, obviously the protagonist's father is going to play a large role in the game. Well, unless you are playing Pokemon, mm, you know, for reasons. Uh, so yeah, unless you're playing Pokemon, like the protagonist father is going to play a major role, but he plays even a bigger role in other ways. For one, and I have mentioned this already, he has conflicts with Wolfgar, and it is somewhat well known that he has conflicts with Wolfgar because Stacy mentions so. And one line that I have been aching to talk about for a very long time is the fact that like Kai says, no wait, no, Wolfgar says that when Kai reveals that Alexa is his daughter, he says something along the lines of, "Your daughter? Wait, I thought that," and then he gets cut off when Kai says uh, things change and something like that. And my immediate thinking is, what was Wolfgar going to say? Like, uh, yeah, obviously it would make sense that Wolfgar knows something about Kai's past because uh, like they might not be friends, but if they are known to have like conflict in between them, like obviously they are going to know each other at least to somewhat of a degree. Like most of the major bosses like Owlin, um, and Charlotte and such, we see them only for their boss battle, and we still get characterization out of them. So like if we get characterization out of them from a single battle, considering these two have battled at least more than a few times, they are probably going to know oh, something about each other's past. So it's interesting. It might imply that at some part they were talking during a battle. Like we know that like you know Alexa also talks to Wolfgar during their battle, and like so if Wolfgar and Kai were talking during their battle, I wonder maybe mm, at some point Kai mentioned that he wouldn't get married, or maybe he didn't want to have children or something like that. I really cannot explain it right now, but like there is something with this guy, and also obviously the fact that he he survived a few more than a few battles with one of the strongest beasts in the entire Friva forest is obviously going to make him lore and story relevant for obvious reasons. Like Wolfgar is strong. He has like the specifically in the insane route, he has the strongest attack stat in the entire game. Okay. Anyway, the conflict between these two is that, and also Kai also battles the criminal that I talked about before, like Midnight Scarlet or some like. Okay, I know this is like supposed to be a video game, but like, why on earth would you know supervillain names and superhero names never made sense to me? Like, anyway, that's besides the point. Now we have Alexa's class teacher, Mrs. Joshia. Mm, I really don't know what to say. Yeah, she is like uh, unexpectedly she's lower irrelevant like at the moment. I just want to make this clear, by the way, that most of these characters, I'm the characterization we get for them is like the characterization we get for them at the moment. Like obviously, some of them, like not everyone is going to have characterization in the first act of a 5-act game. Deoxynn is like, yeah, it's 5 acts and a prologue. What prologue? Epilogue? Ah, yes, epilogue. I think. Whatever. And so, as such, we do not get much characterization for all of the characters. Uh, the one thing I can say about her though is the fact that the fact that she seems like at least supporting and understanding of Alexa, which you would expect to be the norm, but as proven by two characters that are coming up, that really isn't the case. Anyway, next we have Lucas, uh, who is Alexa's, who at the time of beginning of Act 1 is Alexa's only friend, Alexa's love interest, and the only the only person who Alexa sees as a friend. Apparent, yeah, Stacy, like Stacy was once friends with Alexa, but I think it's somewhere stated that they they drifted apart or something, and Alexa needs to ask Stacy if Stacy considers her a friend. So yeah, there is that. Anyway, I can put him under expectedly low relevant, but like I want to keep him like in the this one I made almost like almost exclusively this tier was made with this guy in mind. No, I'm not even kidding, because in one of my tier, like obviously he's going to be lower relevant, because he has he has one of the most long lasting friendship with the main character, and the fact that he is her love interest and all of that. But there is also one theory. In one of my previous video, I made a theory that like Alexa might have a third personality in her, given by another Deoxynn, and like a crack theory moment for a moment. But like if anyone you can go and watch that video. uh, I think it was the yes, it was the video in which I talked about Alexa's uh, like Alexa and her insane half, and like a potentially third entity. Like that was, I think, the title of the video or something. Anyway, I had to stop recording for a moment. But anyway, I believe I was saying the about the video in which I discussed that there might be a third entity, and if that theory turns out to be true, like that in itself is very dubious. But if if we go off the assumption that it is true, there would be very few people who would like do like give Alexa a personality, like a Deoxynn based personality that would try to protect her. And as I just said, like Lucas is the only friend that the only person who Alexa sees as a friend. So if anyone is the one responsible for that, it is probably him. Like again, this tier was made almost exclusively for him. Well, as there is a reason I'm saying almost exclusively. Foreshadowing, say this pet. Anyway, who is this character? I will tell you later. Anyway, well, now we have Alexa's classmate Nancy, who, if I remember properly, is also the school council, like the student body president or council president or something like that. I'm just going to put her here, not the tier, I'm going to put her in just like a tier that I'm going to put her while talking about. Well, I really do not know what to say. Firstly, I guess I can mention the fact that she probably has some knowledge about things that we don't. She probably might know something about the Deoxynn, because there might not at the moment, but we know that the library does have some books about Deoxynn, or at least they were going to get, and some books about Deoxynn. And Nancy spends at least somewhat of a time in the library. On top of that, she says that she doesn't want to be associated with parties or such and such. Like, I, I'm sorry if I'm stuttering a lot, because with a lot of these characters, I really do not know what to say. I made this this one I made so that I can talk about a few characters, and particularly like Lucas, Alexa's father Kai. But with the other characters, I really do not know what to talk about. Yeah, they have some things, and anyway, okay. But with Nancy, I really can't say some things, because we know that she does not want to be associated with parties or something along those lines. I think she said that something happened in the last place he lived with parties and anyway, um, I want to say that expectedly lower irrelevant, but like she says something happened and she does like she does know some things. On top of that, like uh, Stacy later on mentions, but I want to say right here, but apparently Nyarla is on the loose in the school right now. Nyarla, who, where is the card? Right here. Apparently, Nyarla, the Deoxynn who affected Alexa, is currently in the in their school, uh, and if that's the case, like there are very few candidates as to who it can be. Obviously, that there is going to be like the school students, the school staff. I don't know if Brittany goes to school. Uh, there's going to be a few who I'm going to be like partnering right now. Like these few people, but like the thing is, again, there is a very few candidates for that, and particularly in Nancy in particular, we know she came to like Roboton in like a later point in the timeline. Then like presumably it's somewhat a different point in the timeline as to Alexa become a Deoxynn. By the way, I think I just found this out recently, but like the Alexa's victim ID, which is is issued to the people who are Deoxynn victims, like that apparently was issued in the year 153, and the current year in which the game takes place is 156. So that's like a 3-year window basically, and anyway, there are very few people who can fit the description. Like uh, they should have come in like less than 3 years. Then the game takes place, and so on. And Nancy is one of the few characters that can fit that role in my mind. Like I don't think so, but like it is possible. But then the thing is, like if she is Nyarla in disguise, why spend time at the library? It would be more efficient to like spend time like uh, you know at like playgrounds or something with. But like, but then again, that I guess would be suspicious. But why the library specific? It would not make sense unless a funny image that popped into mind is like a Deoxynn like protesting outside a place with like Deoxynn rights board in their hand, like unless he wants to pursue higher education to make Deoxynn a part of the society or something like that. I know that equal rights and all of that stuff, but I do not really see some Deoxynn going after like such a goal as of the moment, because I made theories that they were mistreated and such, but we really don't have any proof of that. Like, do we? Like, so unless she wants to like pursue higher education to educate for Deoxynn rights or something like that, equal rights for Deoxynn, like she wants to protest something like that, I really cannot see a Deoxynn spending their time in a library. And specifically with Nyarla, we do not know. I don't think that's the agenda, because so yeah, like I'm just keeping her in the unexpectedly low relevant category here right now, because like she's one of the few candidates that would fit the description. But I really don't know. Charles. Uh, this guy, well, uh, I really do not like with other characters. I could say something like I said something with Nancy here. Like Nyarla is also like um, I'm going to assume that Deoxynn are not going to like switch up their gender identity to, im- you know, try and look like humans and such. So I'm going to if I'm going to specifically check if someone is Nyarla. I'm going to do that only with the female characters and not with the male characters. Uh, anyway, this guy I really have no idea what I can say other than his doesn't seem irrelevant. But I can say one thing, and that is that one I think he has a crush on. I think like this character whose name yes, Zoe or someone, and uh, he has a crush on her, and that's all I can say really. Oh, I guess I can say one funny interaction. If you go to the library's first floor and interact with the page shelf, the flavor text you get is that Alexa took and ate a page out of a book. And if after that you interact with Charles because he too is in the library, like I think he works in the library or something. Uh, if you talk to him after that, he asks, "What were you doing up?" Like something along the lines of, "What were you doing up there eating a book or something?" Like being weird. And Alexa, in what I can assume is like a calm tone, replies, "Oh, nothing. I was just trying to get you fired." Like that has to be one of the most. That has to be like one of the most weird ways to get revenge I have ever seen in my entire life. Which admittedly is a short time, but like still. Then we have grown up. Uh, the first real quote unquote boss of the game. Anyway, like the first quote unquote boss of the game, the first quote unquote enemy of the game. Um, I can say a few things about him, unlike Charles here, because unlike Charles, he actually has a history with. Um, he actually has a history with Alexa and Stacy. Um, Namely, Stacy in one of her phone calls mentions that uh, Alexa and her went to throw eggs at his house or something along those lines. Uh, and she also says, anyway, I will talk about Stacy later, but one thing I find interesting that in that she says that Bruno once gave her an allergic reaction. So, Stacy apparently has an allergy to something. I don't know. If I had to guess it, like generically, like it would be probably something like peanuts or something. It's a common trope, so there is that. Uh, I don't know what to say. Like, yeah, he has some characterization, and like he has some unused sprites in the game. which might imply that, mm, which might imply that he is going to be at least present in a few other cutscenes and something like that. But I really don't know. Uh, Expectedly lower, irrelevant, I guess, for now at least. Like obviously in future that, but like actually no, I can make a few theories about him because like uh, you know I can make a few theories like maybe he might become friends with a few beasts in the upcoming chapters. Mm, a little like out of nowhere theory, but let if let's assume that maybe if he befriends one of the beasts in the few next chapters, like if that happens, uh, like that would really you know make some of the town folk more willing to give beasts a chance, because like even if like a generic school bully is able to make friends with the beasts, obviously like a few people might start thinking, hey, maybe like uh, some of the even the more troublemaking kids start making are able to make friends with these people. Maybe the beasts aren't too bad after all, or maybe it could serve as like, oh, the troublemaker is making friends with the other troublemaking species in our lives. Yeah, that makes sense. And they start to like you know uh, and they start to antagonize Bruno or something like that's some thought. Now the principal. uh, I really don't have much to say about the principal either, other than the fact that like we have a few things about her. Mm, Firstly, again, she is one of the few characters to be kind to Alexa. She is kind to Alexa, and I don't know. She used to play battle cards with Ben, I suppose. Like that really isn't much on its own, but we'll get to Ben later. I have a few things on my mind regarding Ben, and but like she is one of the few people again who is kind to Alexa. So there is that. So I'm just going to keep her in the expectedly lower relevant time. Oh, and also she says that I think she says something like people weren't kind to her or something during her childhood, and she gives Alexa advice to hang out with the people who are kind to her. Her friends like you know Lucas, Stacy, uh, Katie, and Caleb. So like she doesn't name them. I'm just wanting. Wait, Caleb is right. Yes, Caleb is here. Like I'm just saying their names right now because uh, you know. So I just want to establish the fact that Alexa has more friends than she had at the beginning of the chapter. Act anyway. Uh, then we have Professor Harris. He is unexpectedly he is low relevant in ways you would not expect. Firstly, he is interested in apparent what appears to be a crystal that is specifically stored in the river forest. That on its own is not much, but like he wants to know what is the deal with the crystal and all of that. And my mm, I personally made a few theories regarding that crystal, uh, and that is that the crystal might be able to store the light for a moment, which gives it the ability to say shows some things that happened in the past, at least momentarily. And there is that, and also the fact that he uh, like even before Alexa shows the hey, victim ID, he knows that Alexa is like Professor Harris already knows that Alexa is a Deoxynn victim, so there is that. Apart from that, I'm not sure, but like especially to like first time players who do not know much about the secrets of this game, like the secret crystal, the secret boss, and some of the secret quest lines you can do. Like to first time players, this guy might seem like just a random NPC, but he is like very low relevant, as I just said. Hmm. Now we have Brittany. I can just like one thing I'm just want to say right off the bat is like if you observe like her and the principal have very similar color, like color of hair, so like they might be related, but that might just be coincidental, like as you can literally see right here, like sorry, I had to stop the recording another time. Anyway, as I was saying, like Lucas and Bruno also have the same hair colors, but that obviously doesn't indicate that they might be related. So, but then again, like I cannot say anything else regarding her other than the fact that she is currently dating Jake, who is a Deoxyn, um, and also like also one other thing I want to mention, um, on one of the trees, no, actually two of the trees in the forest have the engraving JX and like BT on them, like it's like a couple thing. And the thing is, um, on my first playthrough of the game, the one I did at the very beginning of the channel, like in that one I thought that the X of JX was actually a K, so I thought, oh, it was a short for Jake or something. But actually, the J it was JX, and we know from one of the library, like Jake literally writes a book, like taking asking Brittany to take him in or take him back in or something. I don't know. He wants to make amends with Brittany. Anyway, we know from that his full name is Jake Zarks, XARX. So, like, presumably that would translate to Brittany, like the T being part of her initials. So, and that's one, like, it really doesn't have anything related to the lore of the game. Like, it's just like a small detail I just wanted to put up. Um, in the moment, though, like, Brittany is more of more of a, mm, you know, she's, how do I say this? Uh, she isn't much of, she doesn't have much characterization of her own. She is more of a plot device more than anything, because like the only interactions we have with her is like regarding Jake and everything like that. So there is that. Anyway, next up is like James, the shopkeeper in Frevaton. Uh, this guy, I cannot really see anything other than the fact that he once he knows that Alexa is like a Deoxynn victim, he obviously is kind to her, and he also he does actually unexpectedly give us some lore, because he says that he explains the fact that the beasts are the ones who like seem to have activated the puzzles, and he he also says that uh, he says, and I I don't remember the exact quote, but he says that you don't learn about years or something like that. What are they even teaching kids nowadays? Which might imply that at some point in the history of Europa, like the things like with gears, gears like the armor items that Alexa uses, um, like those were at some point taught in the like Europa schools, like so, and some small tidbits like that, and also. Uh, His, ac- his shop is unexpectedly the reason that that Grace here is also on this list so early, because like even though her name is not like brought up at any point in the game before we talk to Lucas, um, like I showed this off in my game files, like in my game files secrets video, uh, but like in the background of James shop. We find a portrait of someone who like that. The portrait, I say portrait, but like a small picture more like, and that picture is almost certainly of like that is almost certainly belongs to her, like the color schemes and everything, that might imply that she is related, like James is related to her, or like James is like a fan or something. I really don't know. um, Anyway, I really cannot say anything. Like, she is expectedly lower, irrelevant at the moment. Other than like Lucas and Alexa like being fans of her. Oh, and also like I've been again doing somewhat digging in the game files recently, and uh, it's like I just want to say a few things regarding the game files. And uh, anyway, Grace has an armor item. Like I think it was called the Idol's bracelet or something. Uh, it basically gives Alexa like the pose ability, and I don't know what exactly it does. It says it boosts confidence or something. It might actually heal. I don't know. Oh, I'm not that good with code. Oh, and also another game file thing I just want to put out there. Um, in the game files for the members that are supposed to follow you, like Stacy and like Katie here, there is a variable which uh, dictates if they blush when the player spread as in Alexa spread most likely is near them, like overlapping or something. And with most of them, like I did not check all of them manually, but with the actual few characters that do, who like with the few characters that are actually meant to follow you in Act 1, I am very sure it's set to negative, like not negative, it's set to false. But with Lucas, it is like with Lucas specifically, it is actually set to true. You know, and also there's like brush spreads for him specifically. Uh, Not really much to do with this like list or anything. I just want to bring that up uh, just because uh, I remembered that, and it's like a cool fact. It might be like it might just be one of the other subtle hints, like the player gets to the fact that Alexa has a crush on Lucas. Like not all players like are going to go through all phone calls like I did. So they're going to have to hint at the fact that Alexa has a crush on Lucas in at some point in the game, without having to having the players like go through all dialogue options. Anyway, there is that, and then there is with all these characters, there is that, and then there is Narla. She is expectedly lower relevant, and I think I do not need to say why she is lower relevant because of the fact that she literally puts into like she puts into action literally almost everything that's happens in Alexa's life at this point. Like she is the reason that Alexa become a Deoxynn victim, which mm, in turn is the reason that she eventually runs off into the forest, and you know everything like that. Um, so I really like with Alexa and her mother. I do not feel like I need to explain why I'm going to keep this character where I am keeping her. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly move on to Stacy. Okay, with Stacy, I have few things that I want to say. Well, first of all, she has a younger brother who is actually also a dioxin victim, but that alone isn't much. Like, yeah, sure, that is something, but isn't that that isn't much. But then there is the fact that uh, which tells us something about the game and Alexa's story. She tells us that someone in the school is like they someone in the school sounds like Nyarla, and and Alexa agrees by saying, "Oh yeah, someone does sound like Nyarla." So this does not say much, but it does tell us that Nyarla was spotted by some of others of Alexa's friends. Like it tells us that you know Nyarla was spotted by at least Stacy, and considering that I think Lucas was also, he also is a long-time friend of Alexa's, so presumably he too saw Nyarla at some point. Hmm. There is that, and the fact that she is like one of the only few people who is, actually like, kind of beasts. She she directly says that she appreciates the fact that Alexa isn't killing all the beasts on sight, and she also teaches Alexa about aid and all of that stuff, and she cares for like for Alexa's well-being and all of that. But the fact that she recognizes that someone sounds like Nyarla specifically might also, you know, Alexa is going off to Nextville, I think, in the next act, but Stacy is presumably going to be here. So by the time we return, like someone sounding like Nyarla is like Stacy might do some of her own investigation, and by the time we return, she might want to tell us like like she believes she knows who Nyarla is. So yeah, for reasons she is going to be going to the unexpectedly low relevant, but not because she like I did not expect her to be low relevant, but like she's low relevant in ways I did not expect. Then there is Owlin. Okay, the first actual boss of the game, Owlin. Okay, I'm going to keep Owlin in this tier, and I'm going to explain why. First of all, he's one of the only few beasts who actually wants to look out for the kindness of the like who wants to look out for the well-being of humans. Like yeah, like Caleb also wants to look out for the well-being of humans despite also being a beast, but like he is also half human. Um, so there is that. Owlin is the only one who unconditionally wants humans to be safe. Uh, and we know that he actually tests a few of the humans to make sure that only strong enough humans may pass by to the other side, so that obviously they don't get killed by some of the beasts. Uh, on top of that, he like it okay okay all of this may indicate that he actually some either participated or was witness to some of the things that happened in like the initial stages of the human and beast conflict. Like we know that at least some of the beasts were harmed, but obviously, like yeah, a war may not be like equally result in equal casualties to all sides, but at least like, like in the like vast majority of the wars, like in 99.99% of the wars, even though one side is clearly winning, like there is going to be casualties regardless. So I wonder if Owen saw some of the casualties on the human side and realized that like realized quote unquote that his side may not be as like the side he's on the beach is not as great as he thinks. Huh. Anyway, like there's that, and then we have four characters who I'm going to be discussing all at once, and I'm going to keep all of them right now because I don't want to put them later on here in the unexpectedly low relevant category. This guy who I don't know the name of and I frankly don't care. Melanie, the Covercroft Lucas, who works in the pizza stall and is also in the forest during the Act One. Uh, this guy whose name is Bryce, who is also with her during this time, and PK, whose full name I do not know, um, is also here. And these I'm going to keep in unpredictable, unexpectedly lower relevant, unexpectedly lower relevant category for one reason and one reason alone. That is the insanity route. The majority of the insanity route, uh, like a lot of the characters we know die. Like all of the major bosses, like the major beast bosses, I need to clarify, die. Uh, and like Stacy also dies. Like dies presumably. Yeah, Alexa's insanity stat goes up after she pushes Alex like she pushes Stacy off the cliff. But like that could just be like I know Acoustic Jam mentioned that yeah likely she, yeah he Acoustic Jam mentions, oh yeah, you think Stacy isn't dead, then explain how the insanity stat went up. But like he didn't he didn't counteract my point. So he if Acoustic Jam was like genuinely asking me how like he wanted me to explain that, I would say that you know Alexa just thought that Stacy died and that's why Alexa became more mentally distressed. Anyway, that is the point. The reason these four are low relevant is because as Stacy is likely dead in the insanity route. You see, in the insanity route, we know from Alexa's father Kai that Alexa's parents actually started asking around the where Stacy is, and there are very few people who actually saw Stacy, like probably very few people who saw her during her stay in the forest, because we know very few people saw her because you know we were there with her for like at least a decent amount of the time she was there. Like she was with Alexa like for at least a little period of time, and the last time, and like we know that that's the last time any human saw her, because you know after that the wave battle happens, and after that Alexa pushes her pushes her off the cliff. So these four are going to be main witnesses in that thing. And like, if I remember properly, like the the trigger for the cutscene in which Alexa and Stacy discuss the fact that Alexa has been killing a lot of beasts happens really close to where Melanie and Bryce are. Like, it's most definitely they are going to like have heard something about Alexa killing beasts, and after that, like these four are also know that Alexa has been killing things. They like Melanie in particular is like Lucas' co-worker, so she might know that Alexa is a Deoxynn victim. Like, I don't know if it's like sure, but like she might know it, and she also knows that Alexa is killing living beings. So if someone asks her about Stacy's, like, what have you seen Stacy? All these four characters are going to be saying that the last we saw her, she was with Alexa. So in the insanity route, there is one um Alexa is going too far in the insanity route. Is all I'm saying. Um, and also, like, I think PK in particular, I think he actually leaves the room after that conversation in the insanity route. Although I could be just imagining that. I really don't know. I just realized that, like, a lot of these characters, like, I did not expect those many characters to be unexpectedly low relevant, but like, yeah, some of these I expected them to be low relevant for obvious reasons, but I did not expect them to be low relevant as much. Mm, anyway, okay, Katie is going to be expectedly low relevant. First of all, she is one of the few people, like, again, I say few, although like at this point there are many people who, like, show kindness to Alexa. They're one of the only few people who, like, she's the one of the only few people who Alexa sees as a friend. And she has, and like, also the fact that she ran away from her family because of abuse. Yeah, that's a lot of that's that's almost as much of characterization as we got for Alexa, and that's saying something. Yeah. Like, and like, she's the only one of the only few people who still tries to be kind to Alexa even in the insanity route. She leaves a she leaves our side in the insanity route, but it's not because she's angry at like, yeah, it's because she's angry at Alexa, but that's because Alexa isn't talking to her. It's not like she doesn't want to be friends with Alexa because she is killing beasts or something. She totally understands the fact that Alexa is not doing this willingly, and that it is due to some things that she cannot control. So there's that. Oh, and also, like, in every other route other than the insanity route, like, she also comes to stay in the uh, mm, comes to stay in the, like, what, in the Friva town. I don't know if she does that in the insanity route. I haven't checked by aborting the insanity route after she leaves, though at some point I probably should do that, just like, mm, just to check that if she still goes there. Anyway, the point is, mm, and she is the only few beasts who is, trying to interact with humans, and her plan is like being taken in by a family, and she is getting a lot of attention because people think. according to Alexa, people might be thinking that she's a cosplayer. Anyway, yeah. I know Charlotte. Okay. Thing about Charlotte is like uh, she's like well, she's more confined to her area, and like with the other three beast bosses, like they have something to do with each other. Like yeah, she also wants to save beast kind, quote unquote, by killing Alexa, but like the majority of her like reasoning for wanting to kill Alexa is because her like her cousins, her family, the pythons and the spydrons are running out of food, and you know Alexa, you know killing Alexa would solve that. Uh, and like with the other like with the other bosses, like Owlin has reason to fight us. He wants to test us. Like you know, Sir Drilltail, he is loyal to Wolfgar, and so he wants to fight us. Wolfgar, he has been wronged by humans, so he wants to fight us to save his people. Mhm. And like there's that, but like with Charlotte, her reasoning is not much other than you know her and her family need food to survive. So unexpectedly, she is somewhat lower irrelevant. Although wait a second, some of the murals, like not murals, like some of the like tablets in the cave are very low relevant, and if anyone in future chapters can tell us about them, it's probably going to be Charlotte. I did not expect to keep her in this one. Like I just love the fact that I went once again, like I kept her in the like what is like the lowest tier, and then immediately few seconds I was afterwards I was like, nope, she's in the highest tier now. So there's that. Uh, anyway, Caleb, he's going here too. Like obviously he's one of the only few friends Alexa has. I say only few, but again the list is getting very big right now. She Anyway, Caleb, I kept him here because one, he seems to be have something going on with his family. Two, he has, and by something going on with his family, I do not mean the fact that point two, he is half beast, half human. At some point, and also one of his ancestors, specifically his great grandfather, I think he was like one of the Doomsday Fleet members. Like Doomsday Fleet members, as in one of the first inhabitants of Europa. That's very like being the descendant of such and being half human, half beast. Like that base. I said this before and I say this again, but like he is like he is in my mind the personification of the unity between humans and beasts. Like that's what he represents, and the fact that he is killed at the end of the he at the near end of the insanity route, like that makes it so that you know that might actually symbolize the fact that there is no hope for the unity between beasts and humans at that point in the route. There is no, and also the fact that he was brave enough to go against a Deoxynn victim who wiped out literally almost half. Wait, okay, we have 15 insanity stat. It goes by one. It goes up by one each time we kill. So like yes, like who's like he goes up against a human who has killed 48 like living beings, like bosses, Stacy, everyone included, before him. Like that's a lot of bravery. And we also know for a fact that because he tells us that he has been watching us, and that might imply that he has seen us kill every one of them, like individually, from like Stacy and everyone. So he is low, like low relevant. Like you kind of expect him to be low relevant, but like you know the fact that he has some symbolism and all of that, that's would not be much expected. I don't think so it would be that much expected. Like I don't think the first thing people are going to think on the insanity route is, oh my god, we are, by killing him we are symbolically ending the peace. Like I don't think that would be on anyone's mind unless they specifically did all routes. Then we have the guardians. The guardians, for those of you who don't know, are like beasts that are, according to Caleb, like ghosts, but not really. They're born to like guard or something. Uh, mm, Expectedly, they're low relevant because, like, not only the fact that there are ghosts, so that confirms that supernatural entities are present in like the you know the the world of Deoxynn. But it also says that you know and also it also says that since we never meet them in the insanity route, we can assume that they are off doing something else, like evacuating beasts or warning other parts of the Freva region. Wolfgar actually does say that the word has already gotten out about Exa's doings, so it's probably through them because they're the only characters we do not see in the insanity route that we see in the other routes. Then we have Jake, who is like expectedly low relevant because he's a you know he's bad. you know he has a traumatic backstory of himself, with his mother being killed in a shooting. He's a Deoxynn victim himself, just like Alexa. So he can help Alexa by he also helps Alexa by giving her a skill known as healing help, which heals our enemies and all of that. And this spread is actually of Fuxo, the Deoxynn that actually infected, um, that actually corrupted Jake. Oh, and also now that we are at the second Deoxynn, I just want to say one other thing. Like, uh, I cannot believe I forgot to say this before, but Acoustic Jam, in a few videos ago, uh, revealed one thing that well, let's just say that it's going to change a lot of theory crafting going forward, and that is that Deoxynn cannot shapeshift, apparently. uh, let me say let me see if I can find the comment exactly. uh, let me see. Like it's very interesting. And like wait a second and a half. The thing with this, like the thing with these my videos are that I do not script them at all. Sometimes I don't even plan things at all. So I really do not know what to say most of the time. Yes. Yes, here it is. No, Dia, quote, no, Deoxynn are not confirmed to be able to shapeshift. It is a this that is a common misconception. They have other methods of looking like humans, but they cannot shapeshift. So I guess that explains how humanoid beasts such as Caleb and Katie can exist without human intervention. That is a fascinating bit of lore. This also makes it very easy for like Stacy, who is looking for Yarla, much easier because like if they cannot shape shift, like yeah, they might be able to you know disguise themselves using like wigs or something, but they cannot shape shift. So it's probably going to be very easy for Stacy to recognize Nyarla. In fact, it's probably going to be easier for Alexa to recognize Nyarla if she like really puts some thought into it. Like if she like obviously for a Deoxynn to corrupt their victim, she would have to spend at least a decent amount of time with Alexa. So if Alexa really puts some thought into it, she probably will be able to recognize who Nyarla is among her classmates, like not classmates, like among her schoolmates. In other words, this fascinating bit of lore is going to be very useful, and it's also going to like revolutionize the theory crafting, because we don't have to like that's one less supernatural thing we need to worry about. And but also like I cannot blame the community for like coming to that like I say the community because like acoustic jam says that it's a common misconception. I cannot blame myself and like the other people who thought that Deoxynn can shapeshift, because one, this information is present to us back when we do not know that humanoid beasts like KTM Caleb exist. In fact, we do not know what beasts even are, because like the fact that Deoxynn uh, are like they look like humans and all of that, they do not mention that before we see the setting of the game. We only see a black void with the backstory, and Alexa tells us that Deoxynn are beasts who corrupt humans by looking like them. And also like the term demon is used for them, and commonly like at least myself, when we think about demons impersonating humans, we normally like think about shape shifting, right? At least that was the thought process with me, and like probably at least some other people, because like again acoustic jam says it's a common misconception, so I'm just going to assume that at least some of you other guys also like thought as such. Anyway, Hyuxo, however, is unexpectedly lore irrelevant, because unlike Nyarla, who is like who was just like a past threat who did something and now is out of the picture, according to our knowledge, who is sorry, I mean, unlike Nyarla, who is still an ongoing threat, because like she mentioned she is probably at the school. He like we do not know what happened to Hyuxo like at all. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this with Jake, but like Jake, we do not see what happens to him on the insanity route. Also, we do not know what happens to Stacy's younger brother in the insanity route, because Stacy did not find him in the insanity route, because after she does not find him when she is with us, and after that she probably dies. And Jake, considering the considering the beasts are on high alert at that time, he is either probably dead himself, or he also went into his trap phase due to his anxiety of battling beasts, and his insane half then took control and he went into the forest somewhere. Okay, now we have the creep of Lightning Lily here. His his in-game sprite is literally just creep. However, he is I hate to put a guy just named creep here, but he's unexpectedly low relevant because Lily is unexpectedly low relevant, and that is because the creep gives us the key to her house because he somehow has it. I think he explains how he got it, but I do not want to even know how he got it, so I probably just washed that out of my mind for that reason. Uh, as to Lily, I said that unexpectedly low relevant. I can just make theories about her right now, but I do not know for certain. Like the thing with her is, uh, she does not have much going on with her, but if I remember properly, like she has a late motive in her, in what is it? You know, the theme that plays when you race against her, and the theme that theme has the late motive that is like the main late motive of the game. Um, so if late considering that late motives probably play like a large, if they play any decent amount of role in the story building of the game, I can see her being like low relevant. And also, if I remember properly, like uh, I think Acoustic Jam once made like 8 character like post about 8 characters that would be relevant to the game, and she was among one of them. So yeah, there's that. Then there is Sir Drilltail, who again somehow the majority of the characters here is going to the unexpectedly low relevant category because he uses a few sneak bits into the the things that beasts are. Like uh, one he proves us that he's living proof that the bosses we see throughout the game, like they are not exactly one of a kind bosses. Like in Undertale, the I just want to I whenever I want a game to compare it to, I can just think of Undertale and Deltarune because obviously, but uh, anyway, uh, in Undertale and Deltarune, majority of the bosses there, like they are just very detached from the common enemies in that area. Toriel, who is very different from the other monsters in the ruins. Uh, the skeletons are self-explanatory. Uh, Metaton and Undyne, Asgore, they are all very different from the other monsters we fight, like the non-boss monsters we fight. But the thing with Telltale is that he proves us that at, any, at least in the Deoxynn game, in the universe, any beast can become as strong as they want because he is not in at all different from the other beasts. He is just literally a rodent who is stronger than his brethren. Oh my god, I realized something Sir Little actually has the pronouns of it, so I'm sorry for using the pronouns of male pronouns for them for it. Like, wait a second, mm, I'm probably going to go back in editing and keep a disclaimer somewhere that I forgot and used male pronouns by accident. But anyway, Sir Little is living proof that any any rodent here can become as strong as it. Like that's just a thing. There is no limitation as to how strong a beast can be. In fact, even in the game files, even in the game files, his files are literally just labeled Mega Rodentier. In fact, his I'm very sure his boss, his uh, what is it like? His prides are literally he paired up with the Rodentier. His prides, like just like a boss. Also, with Charlotte too. We can argue that she is just a spider but she refers to them more like cousins more than actual brethren. So as far as I'm concerned, Drilltail is the only example where directly connected beasts show this much of a difference. Hmm, anyway, hello, the editing net here, and I'm very sure I did not mention this about Sir Drilltail, so I'm here to mention it about it right now. Before Sir Drilltail's boss battle, it states that it is a part of an organization known as the Friba 5, and considering there are 5 acts of Deoxynn, it is likely that we will meet the other 4 members of the Friba 5 in the future acts. So, I just wanted to mention this about Sir Drilltail that considering he is part of the Friba 5, him being spared or him being killed are probably going to have ripple effects with future bosses in the game to a large extent. If he is suppose killed, obviously his 4 other comrades in the sorry I said his again, it's anyway Sir Drilltail's 4 comrades in the Ifrewa are probably going to be unhappy that we killed it, and they're probably going to want vengeance for their fallen comrade. On the opposite, if we spare Sir Drilltail, I can imagine there being 2 different approaches depending on which path we are. If we are in the neutral route, I can see the other 4 or members of the Friva 5 scolding Sir Drilltail or even removing it from the Friva 5 because it let go of a dangerous human who is now killing beasts or has already killed beasts by the time we have encountered Sir Drilltail. And obviously in the genocide, in the insane route, obviously Sir Drilltail is also going to be dead. So again, that will also probably have a lot of ripple effects down in the other acts. My point here is that obviously in the insane route, Wolfgar states that our actions have already been communicated to the other regions of the forest, but in the non-insane routes, I can imagine Sir Drilltail and the Friva 5 basically being the only connecting threads throughout the acts, because to my knowledge in the non-insane routes no one mentions that Alexa's adventures are going to be communicated to other regions of the forest. So I can totally see Sir Drilltail and the Friva 5 playing a much bigger role as the connecting thread throughout the acts. Next up we have Wolfgar, who is going expectedly low relevant characters, because as a final boss he definitely has a lot of lore tied to him. He probably experienced some personal, sorry I had to cough I had to settle my throat for a moment. He probably anyway Wolfgar has probably suffered some like personal loss due to the humans from like I just because wolves normally are in packs, uh, and he is just as far as we know the only wolf we know, and also the fact that he probably saw many beasts like part of his pack or otherwise being killed. Also, and also he, according to what he says during his battle, uh, he was like chosen, like basically democratically chosen to be the leader of the river forest region by his fellow beasts. Like even before, like he was probably very strong to have been recognized as such, and we know for a fact that he is strong because he has the strongest attack stat in the entire game on the insanity route. His insanity route boss battle, like he does 20 damage if you don't have like armor pieces or defense. Does 20 damage, and that's a lot considering that Alexa only has 60 HP uh, without the HP up. Uh, yes. Then we have June. Uh, yeah. Mhm. I do not know what to say. Like, first of all, she is not from this place. I think the place she is from is Despolar. She also gives us some of the insight into the language languages in the Deoxynn universe. Um, like she, like, I say that like we obviously know something weird is going on with the languages in Deoxynn because many things are misspelled. Like clock is spelled without a uh, second C, and like bus is spelled bass, and all of that. Mm, and also, like she gives us some insight into like the places we have not been to. She says that like English, which is just English, is like her third language and all of that. But I really don't have much to say about her. So expectedly lower irrelevant for now at least. Uh, Wait a second. Sorry, I had to go and get uh, my laptop is running out of battery, so I had to set up it charging. And anyway, as I was saying, there isn't much about her right now. That's all. Now we have quite the unique group left. I'm going to break the order for a moment and just to put Comte, the guy who teaches about the like battle cards and all of that. Uh, like battle cards and all of that. Like expectedly in low relevant, irrelevant because uh, that's all he has. Zoe likewise goes there because the only dialogue she has is indicating to the fact that she has a brother. Uh, she wants to buy a hospital so that she can, destroy the unused building, and she plays battle card because and and if we mention Ben, she gets like upset or angry or something like that. Uh, Not much is there regarding her. The cop, however, is going to be unexpectedly low relevant because you know he probably can tell about the like the aforementioned shooting that happened, about the thing I mentioned with Midnight Scarlet who Kai fought, and Also, like if I remember properly, the cop was also in that uh, eight character thing that acoustic jam once did, like, and all of that. Anyway, then I'm going to keep Chris, Alexa's cousin, I think, in the like expectedly lower element. Like if I say expectedly because like if someone is related to the main protagonist, you would expect them to be like lower relevant and all of that. But also the fact that their their child makes it so that uh, if you need Deoxynn, you know they might be potential target for a Deoxynn and all of that. Then we have Hornet, who like is going into the he's going into the expertly low relevant category, especially because he's a well-wanted criminal, and the fact that he has a gun, which, if you remember properly, was supposedly banned back on Earth in the Deoxyn universe. Like how he has it is one thing, and also if he has guns, he probably knows something regarding the shooting that took the life of Jake's mother. There is that. And then we have Ben, one of the more interesting characters who I do say so myself. Uh, and I say that because Ben is like one in the insanity route. He acts like he knows what we did, though we don't know how he knows it. Though if I had to guess, considering Katie like goes to the Frewa town, or in the other routes she might have gone to Frewa town even in the insanity route. She probably maybe because like she fits she's in the other route she sits like a few benches away from like a few tables away from where Ben is playing with Comte, and so if I had to guess, she is the reason he knows. He also has connections with the principal and Zoe, and also the fact that like he is for some reason in the police station in the insanity route. And also one thing I want to say, he is unreasonably calm when sorry, I'm like my nose is a little runny today. He is like unreasonably calm after being shot in the hand by Hornet. I don't know about you, but as a civilian, I would be freaking out if I got hit on the hand. Like he is unreasonably calm to the point that he waits and gives Alexa the coin before leaving. Like I don't think this guy is a civilian. Like at least he is somehow involved with the police, considering the fact that he seemingly baits. Like if I had to make a crack theory, I would say that he was involved with the police, knew that Hornet was into collecting the coins, like the coins that are used for battle cards, and you know, uh, the police would, if the police knew that, it would make sense that they would send like someone to bait Hornet to show himself. So if I had to make a crack theory, I would say that he's at least involved with the police, a police informer, or like like an undercover police himself. That's all I can say. Uh, like also like with Zoe, I guess that she knows Nancy. Uh, anyway, that was just random. And with that, we are at the end of another video. So thank you guys for watching, and bye for now.